To Glory Podcast Season 6. Some big changes. Big change number one. We are live on video. Austin dressed up in Nebraska attire. Hunter's
I don't know, at least for the first time, you got to at least wear something, right?
got something on. I got the Return to Glory hat on. Dak, what do you got for yourself?
2016 Beatrice football playoff shirt.
Good year.
What happened to the OU hat?
That is down in the Ozarks, in the bottom of the lake.
Where it belongs, rightfully.
Because Hunter was on that boat and he went and turned around to go get it.
Yeah. 2 minutes later, he goes, "Oh, shit. My hat."
It just fell off while you were zipping on the water?
Yeah, it flew away. I wouldn't have been able to find it either way.
Well, one of the reasons we did want to go on video was, so everybody could, watch. But Dak, I wanted everybody to see that you did wear that same hat and a lot of times the same shirt every podcast.
And one podcast, no shirt, if you remember correctly.
Remember that?
I was shirtless?
For part of it. You were changing clothes while we were doing it. I don't remember why.
We may need to get some age verification on that, Dak, now.
Right.
All the new laws.
I don't remember that one, but
The Return to Glory OnlyFans page. Featured tag, free tag.
Oh, well, welcome back, everyone. New season, new things in store for the podcast this year. Obviously, like I mentioned before, being on video, that also means we will be on YouTube. Eventually, we will be trying to get us live, and we're going to go every Sunday and Wednesday night at around 9 o'clock. That may change a little bit, but hopefully we'll be live at some point, but the videos will be recorded, posted on YouTube. You can still find us on Twitter at Glory Return, on Apple Podcast, on Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcast, anywhere else you find your podcast, we will be there. Austin, it's season 6 for us, season 2 for Dak. We're finally just making some big strides. Everybody can finally see what we look like.
Uh-huh. This is, we've been saying, season 3 was our breakout year. This is really there's the 6-year rebuild. What's the Colin Cowherd thing? There's a 6-year rebuild and a 2-year rebuild. We're part of the 6-year rebuild. This is year 6.
We're part of where, we got to year 5. We're like, all right, is this worth to continue? We still like to give our thoughts, our takes on Husker sports. We bring in a non-Husker fan. That gave us a spark, got things rolling last year. Now it's taken that next step, so we're not staying stagnant here. Dak, we'll start with you. It's been 3 months since we got off air. How's life been? Update the people on what they want to hear.
Oh, it's been pretty good. Nothing too crazy has been happening. I've been watching a lot of preseason stuff, football last couple weeks. Getting ready for it. Oh, yeah.
You've been watching stuff or just playing the video game?
A little bit of both. It feels like it's taking forever to get here. Like, let's kick off already.
What are we, 35 days away now? 34 days?
I think we were 5 weeks from yesterday from when week 1 UTEP. So week 0's 4 weeks around the corner. I mean, it's here. I thought July flew by. The last couple of months have really flown by. There's been a lot of, as always, discussion on this team this year, and the win total's been out and published, 7.5. We can talk about that here in a little bit as well. I think it's a pretty fair number, believe it or not.
Yeah. It's almost as if the books know what they're doing. They want to put a number that's hard to pick over.
Austin, what is up with your life the last couple of months?
It's been busy. We're at that age, the wedding age. Last time I saw you, Hunter, you were throwing up in a grocery store following a wedding, if I remember correctly.
Thanks for mentioning that.
What?
Wedding. We carpooled. We had to pull over on the way home so Hunter could throw up in a grocery store. it's the most fitting way to do it.
Whew.
You're just sick, huh?
I had one job that night was to get Austin drunk, and I think I succeeded, but also brought myself down with it.
I was there, but you were slamming them quicker than I could. You bring me one, and then you'd probably drink two and then it was the tequila shots at the end of the night. That's downtown Lee Summit, Dak. It's a good place. A lot of excitement.
I've never even been drunk, so I don't even know what that's about.
Okay. Yeah, we believe that. Also, you've been drunk on this podcast, so
Maybe
with
that
YouTube.
That might be a thing. Dak just needs to get a different drink every podcast and share it with the people what he's drinking.
No
Vodka shots.
No comment.
No, it was just summer of weddings, summer of family gatherings. So ready for football, ready for fall, ready not to be so hot.
And we're here. I think Hall of Fame game all ready for the NFL's coming up
Next week.
Normally July is the dog days of summer for sports, and you know what? I think this year, for some reason,
football saved the summer. That's what it was.
It did, and Olympics, like
mm-hmm.
we're here, we're rolling. How about that today? Before we get Husker sports talking, we got LeBron, a 39-year-old, just taking over. And I'll give Kevin Durant credit where credit's due. That was pretty impressive against the Serbians today.
Yeah, it was a really good basketball game. At the beginning had us all a little worried. It was a rough start, but yeah, LeBron and KD were freaking incredible.
Jason Tatum really pitched in a lot today too.
He was sick.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was sick. That's my scouting report was. Jokic sucks and Jason Tatum was sick.
Yeah, okay. Drew Holiday better than Jason Tatum? ?
I'll tell you what, Drew Holiday is.
Jaylen Brown is.
He's a needed piece on that team. Like he does exactly what he needs to do: a role player, defender, lock down their point guard, make everything tough. Doesn't need to score a whole lot, but can make an open shot. He's a key. Might be more of a key than Jason Tatum.
Oh, he'll definitely be a bigger role than Jason Tatum. There's like 4 guys on the roster who can beat Jason Tatum's role.
Once he gets to feeling better, he'll be balling out.
8.5 points a game, 2 rebounds, 17 minutes a game.
On 27 shots.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Now we got video and I got to show you something.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Jack, you should have sent the summer celebrating. Oh, there we go. Casey.
So, we
Nice.
get up at 6:30 on Saturday morning with the plans to watch Casey just dominate.
Yeah, that worked out real well for you, didn't it?
Oh my gosh, I was so pissed. So just to lay it out there, watching a little bit of the warm-ups like 2 minutes before game starts, Casey is on a normal team's bench, the first person ready to come in, like the 6th man sitting next to the coaches, like, okay, he's coming to play. Nope, Japan's bench is backwards, where their first subs are on the very end. So, long story short,
bottom of the bench.
he didn't get in, or he got in for 30 seconds, didn't touch the ball. They were down by 15 to 20 with the last 4 minutes. Nobody subbed, also pissed. So sad.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I didn't come over and watch that. Hunter called me and he woke me up. I fell back asleep and I forgot I set an alarm for it, so I fell back asleep for about 10 minutes, woke up again to my alarm. And yeah, I didn't watch it.
It's not shocking. I mean, there's a lot of good players in Japan as a country, I'm sure. I'm just surprised they didn't get in even when it was garbage time. But
there were 2 5'5" guys that play for them. Casey is taller than them, and they play. Now, I will say they play like Casey. Like, they shoot the same kind of shot, so it was kind of fun to watch. But they're not good. Germany just outmanned them pound for pound.
Well, Germany is good. I mean,
they're decent. And Daniel Tice,
They're one of my favorites.
Like, they just kick their ass. So, rip Casey. Maybe he'll get his chance. I did see in their last couple exhibition games, he was like 0 for 7 from 3. So,
oof.
Got it. He's a 3-point chance.
McVay jersey. The one guy who's actually doing well. Where's your Jack McVay jersey?
Yeah, that I don't have one. It was funny. I forgot I had a Matthew Dellavedova Aussie jersey. He's not even really playing, and I was like looking through that. I'm like, oh my god, Jack McVay
He
putting up
won
some
the Australian
numbers.
League Finals MVP, I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah, like I mean, he's like balling out in Australia.
Jack, do you know who Jack McVay is?
Yep, former Husker.
Oh boy,
Wow, you nailed it.
Barely played.
He did
Well,
have he had a lot of injuries, but when he had there's a stretch there where he was pretty good.
very slow on defense.
That's
yeah,
just a bet on most of the players from that era of Husker basketball.
Was that team
yeah,
good he was on? I can't even remember.
Yeah, we had tournament aspirations with that team.
and that means it was a
I
good.
thought,
That means it was a good team for Nebraska.
Yeah,
yeah.
we just got injuries. That's what killed us that year.
All right, Husker football. We spent way too long not talking about that. Win total 7.5. Expectations. We talk about that a lot on this podcast. I think Husker fans are known. I don't think. I know Husker fans are known for having very high, unrealistic, drinking the Kool-Aid type expectations, especially in the offseason. I could go get my other shirt that has us defending our offseason natty title for the last 23, 24 years now. But we're here. I mean, it's fall camp is starting. Big Ten Media Days just was last week. Coach Rule talked for about 15 minutes, brought 3 of the seniors along to speak
He's
about
a
the team.
media darling. He's all over ESPN. I
And
don't.
he does. He likes to go like, obviously that's part of every coach, but then he also does these side shows and side talks with all these different
Which is surprising
shows.
because you know he's on Pat McAfee, he does Joel Klatt, he's on he did Sports Center or like Wake Up, well not Wake Up, what is it?
Good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I just find it interesting that like ESPN likes him. Like I don't, you know, James Franklin's not doing these shows.
Yeah, he's not a stick in the mud. He's a good interview.
No, he's a good soundbite.
And I think
He ain't
that's
nothing like PJ Fleck, but
with good reason with the Rule. I think he knows his intentions behind it. I think these first couple of years it does. He has to be the face and the talk of the program to the media, and the media drives so much of opinions in college football, and especially in recruiting. And Rule does a good job of getting out in front of that and saying things for the program and helping build. And I think he says a lot of the right things and trying to say that with an unbiased opinion. But I do think he's a football guy. He's a football coach and does a really good job of expressing himself. Now, Paul Feinbaum might disagree. On the other hand, not too technologically advanced where we'll insert that clip, but at a high level, Rule said 4 Big Ten teams should get into the college football playoff every year because that's how strong the conference is, not dismissing the SEC or any other conferences, but the 4 Big Ten teams should get in. Paul Feinbaum then goes on to just rip the comment and says, stay in your lane, Matt. You need to just make a pathetic bowl game first, and you're putting yourself in the conversation of Ohio State and Georgia and Clemson, and you just need to make a bowl game, and basically went off, which I thought was whatever, kind of
It
funny.
was a little out of context. I will say Paul Feinbaum is a little out of context how it was framed to him. Greeny posed it as Matt Rule came out and said that they should be automatic qualifiers for 4 Big Ten teams. What do you think of that? Which is then what Paul Feinbaum responded to, which is not what Matt Rule said. Matt Rule said that the conference is strong enough that it should have 4 people in it every year, not automatically qualifying, but there should be 4 teams that are worthy of being the top 12 team in the country. Was how I interpreted it, at least.
Prior to Feinbaum's an SEC guy.
Yes, and the ESPN's an SEC shop.
That is how Feinbaum got his name. I mean, I remember when I first heard of him, he came out of the SEC, and that was all he could talk about. I mean, this was like at the beginning of the playoff era when I remember just Paul Feinbaum raving everything SEC. I also just think it's kind of a media ploy, right? Like all of his comments, Rule never once said Nebraska should be one of those 4. Like,
Right.
I think he hopefully thinks we can, but he wasn't implying that we are going to be qualifying every year. He just said the conference is strong enough that they should be getting 4 in.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that Paul Feinbaum, he's doing his best Stephen A. Smith, where he doesn't really believe what he's saying. He's just saying it to get the clicks, because it was a pretty bad take, trying to be unbiased about it. Because if you just listen to what Rule said, that he did not respond to what Rule said. He was responding to what Mike Greenberg posed it as, which is, I would say, an inaccurate representation of the conversation, totally taken out of context.
Yeah. Any more comments on Paul Feinbaum?
Well, I don't like him either way, but I guess I gotta like him now because we're in the SEC.
Yeah, he's your driver. He's your conference driver.
He blows the SEC all day, every day, and and yeah, of course he hates every other conference besides that.
He hates Colorado.
Yeah, if you ain't from the SEC, he hates you. Although I do agree with him though. I don't think you'll ever get 4 Big Ten teams in. Penn State will be there every year because they go 10-2.
I mean, last year we would have had 4 teams. We would have had 3, right?
Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State.
Michigan, Penn State. It's not unreasonable to think a 4th team could sneak in.
Iowa.
I mean, the record. They were a top 25 team last year.
Just look at Iowa's schedule this year. It's stupid. They probably have a chance at getting in. The other one that I looked at that's kind of funny, their schedule, is Rutgers. I'm not saying they're going to get in, but I mean, if you look at who they play and if they're decent, they don't play any of the top 4 teams. Like, they could go 9-3 and play in the title game in the Big Ten. And you can't tell me that if 2 teams get in the Big Ten, they're not going to at least start with the 2 in the title game. I mean, I think that would be a start. So it's just funny with this whole new conference thing. It has me really excited for college football in general because they're not only.
Hold on, sorry. Oregon's going to be there. USC is probably going to be top 12. That's maybe. Fire, Dak.
USC's win total is like 7.5, I think.
They got my boy DG, Oregon.
So we can dive into Big Ten teams. We will in future episodes. I just think this whole new era with 18 teams in the Big Ten, 16 teams now in the SEC, the playoff expanding to 12 teams, like everything's happening at once and nobody really knows what that's going to look like. But to me, that makes it exciting. Like, Dak, you have OU in the SEC now. Are you even used to that?
Yeah. No, not even close. Like, it's going to be weird playing LSU, Bama, and Georgia every year now. But I don't know. And like playing the college football games in the SEC on the field, it's weird. I wish we stayed in the Big 12. I wish everybody did, but I guess we're stuck with it now.
Wait, so you do wish you would stay in the Big 12?
Oh yeah. I wish the Huskers were still in the Big 12 too. I like playing all the teams that are closer to me up here than freaking going down to Mississippi and Bama and all that. I'd rather just have it back, keep Colorado and Nebraska back in it. You don't got to bring those weirdos down to A&M back, but Missouri you can bring back.
Real quick, the current structure of the SEC, Big Ten, and the playoffs, how many years do you think it stays like this? Like, no more teams added or get rid of, and the playoff doesn't change. How many years of the structure before something changes?
5 years.
And what's the change?
Order. I think it's going to be changing the automatic bids. 3 years.
Well, I'm not even. I'm just saying the 12 teams. Like, they might change.
Oh, the 12 teams? I don't think they'll go bigger than 12.
It all depends on the money. If it's all driven by money. I could see it 5 years going to 16 teams. They're already trying to get 16 right now without even playing a single game at 12.
Yeah, I'm more in the shorter term, and I think the 5 to 7 year time frame. Dak, I think you're spot on with the money take. I think they're going to become their own league, and I think that comes with adding the teams that can afford to be in those. And I think both leagues could get up to potentially 20 ish teams, maybe a little bit more, and they're going to separate off and do their own thing. And the NCAA is going to be stuck with whoever's left. And I mean, I don't know if that's better for the sport in general, but I think that's what's going to happen. I just don't see things staying this way for 10, 15 years. It's just too much of a volatile market right now. And everybody's after the new contracts and new bids and new money, and a lot of teams can afford it. I mean, that's not even mentioning NIL and all these other things that are changing with college football. So I don't know. I think it's going to be short-lived, and I don't think people should get too hung up on because everybody's going to complain about this thing and that thing. I think everybody should just enjoy what we have, because it's going to change. People are going to be upset when the teams get selected on who that is. Hell, people are already pissed about the way the video game's selecting teams for it and the seeding and the rankings. Like, it's just a whole big ordeal. So let's enjoy it, because I think it's going to be fun and it's crazy. And guess what? Nebraska's got a better chance of making the playoffs by expanding it even more.
That's true.
The ACC will be the next one to fall. Yeah, it won't be long before the ACC's done. And then I can see, I think eventually it'll just be the Big Ten SEC only. Maybe the Big 12 stays and picks up. That's just like a scrap, like leftover scraps of teams over there. But
what's fascinating with like the Big 12, like you said, like I don't know where do they fit in that, because for basketball they do have
stacked
strong, if not the strongest conference, and so I don't know where that fits in all of this and how that could look. And that might be the one thing that actually keeps all of this still part of the NCAA in the future. But it's going to be interesting. I just think we're not here to stay, especially with the football world, but I think just college sports in general. And I do think that we're not too far away from collectives and agents. And
well, I mean, the Big 12's already looking for a corporate sponsor to sponsor the conference.
Yep. We got logos being approved on the field. Like,
yeah.
It's all going to get commercialized here, and whether that's for the better or for the worse, I don't know. But it's moving in that direction. The athletes, I think, are going to end up being employees eventually. Like, that's going to happen.
There was something that got passed that the university could pay student athletes directly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's all moving. Let's enjoy it. Let's have fun with it.
Is the NCAA commissioner, is he live? Because it's just, there's no rules anymore. He doesn't give. I think it's probably because the conferences are bigger than him. He can't really do anything about it.
It's where the money's at. Like you said, that's where's the money at? Right now it lies with the schools, and with these big donors and people that are willing to give all this money to the schools for NIL and the conferences. And I mean, that's where the money's at. And the kids are going to be getting the money, as they should, because it's an entertainment business. I mean, you talk about sports in general and you look at all these professional sports, it is the entertainment business, and where people's advertisement and money of that sense goes, it should be going to the ones that are providing the entertainment. It doesn't every other sport.
He's probably staying quiet because he knows if he pisses off these schools, they can easily just leave and be independent by themselves. So he's just letting them do whatever. Because basically the NCAA is just there just for name only now. They ain't doing anything.
And yeah, who knows with the other schools. So, okay, let's circle back to Husker football. Let's get there. Where are we at? What do we think? Where did our minds go? I know that after the off season, we talked about how we finished last year, didn't make a bowl game again, but a lot of close games. We bring in Dylan Raiola, 5-star quarterback, away from Georgia. Like, that has been the talk of the entire offseason. And the spring game happens. He lives up to his hype. We watch a spring game. We're like, oh my gosh, he's Patrick Mahomes 2.0. That was the title of our last episode.
Well,
like, it just feels like things could be trending in the right direction. But with everything that's happened with our past few coaches, we have to still be a little bit aware of getting out of control with our expectations. But I don't know. Is it real this time? Like, could it be, when I say get us back, like, could it be a 8-4 year given our schedule, a 9-3 year if we perform better than we should.
It definitely could be. I mean, you're right. It's totally built off of our expectations of what our schedule is. You look at the first 7 weeks, the toughest.
You should start out 7-0.
We should. I mean, we think
Maybe.
we should beat Colorado, right?
That's the only game I'd be worried about. Other than that, you should start minimum 6-1.
But why? Like, I'm not saying I don't agree.
Right.
Why are we saying that we should be 7-0? Like, we're the better team to win at Purdue, to beat Rutgers at home, like Illinois at home. Why should we think that we're just better than those teams and we're going to beat them? Even, Colorado at home. I mean, I will say UTEP and Northern Iowa, we better win those 2 games. But what have we done in the past 8-9 years that have shown that we're going to win those games?
I guess, yeah, you've struggled to beat Purdue every year.
Mm-hmm. And have lost
Rutgers. I think those teams are awful. Those first 7 teams you play.
But are we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Nebraska's been awful too. You've been on the level of Purdue, Rutgers, and Indiana. Well, I think Indiana might be one of the worst teams in the nation. But I don't know.
I think if you look at best case, worst case, I mean, obviously excluding worst. When I say worst case, I mean worst realistic case, because we're not going to go 0-7. I just don't think that would happen.
You hope not.
Best case would be 0-7. Worst case, probably 3-4. That seem right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so many
what's your
Husker
third game?
Fans, so many Husker fans just say we're 7-0. We're going to be set like Dak as you started off, and it is so funny because it's the same song and dance every year, and we justify it so differently every single year. This year we say we have a reason with Dylan Raiola and Matt Rhule in the second year. So everybody's saying, look at Matt Rhule in year 2 at Temple, at Baylor. Look what he did. Like, this should matter. Well, guys, remember, Matt Rhule said last year was like year 2. That's what he claimed when he came here. So we're trying to justify why we should be when, again, reality, we just need to win football games. And that's all that matters at this point, game by game. But we're sitting here looking 7 games in, and you guys still there? Little buffer. There we go. I think we're back.
Okay.
Little buffer.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was losing you or what was going on there.
I think it was me. Little interference. But yeah, I think 7-0. Like, I don't know why we're talking about it at this point, because these teams are not teams that we have shown that we can just beat by 20. Now, with all this stuff coming in, maybe we can. Maybe it will be the year that we can turn things around. I don't know. But all of the Husker media, the fans, all the people that we talk to, friends, are all so hyped. And I can say I've been there myself every
Patrick
couple
Mahomes
of days.
2.0.
Like, it'll come around, but I have to say nope. One, I'm going to the Indiana game, so we're probably going to lose that game because I'm going.
Oh fuck! If you lose to Indiana, you're screwed. You ain't doing anything this year.
Looking at, so media day is pretty uneventful. Really isn't anything there that really, I don't think that hyped anyone up. Was there anything in media days that got you hyped up? It felt pretty scripted. They were all kind of on the same page. These are our talking points.
And Husker fans, days. I will say this: Husker fans thought Rhule's take. Like, I'm listening to a couple of the other podcasts. They're like, I'm reading into this too much, but I think Rhule thinks we're going to be pretty good. I think Rhule thinks we have a chance of making the playoffs. I'm like, shit. You dumb idiots! Like, come on, and that's what we do.
He does think the team's good, which he should.
As your coach going to say, is your coach going to say my team sucks?
Yeah. But I do think off-season wise, there's a couple of shortcomings with the Husker media, which I want to get into eventually. Coach Cooper's personal reason for leaving that no one seems to know. No one. in all of Nebraska. Like there's literally one
And no one
sport
really cares
out there.
anymore. That's what's weird
And
about it.
yeah. So yeah, we do have a new corners coach.
That got
Which
swept
is,
under the rug.
well, I think it's yeah, I don't know if it's because we hired a supposedly really good corners coach from the NFL
Of
who's
course, we're gonna say he's good.
right. I mean, he did coach it was like the best pass defense, top 5 pass defense. I don't remember. Anyways, so there's that. But I think coming out of the offseason, you're just excited because the chasing three, you kind of see the athletes on the offensive side, and you feel better about the wide receivers, and you feel better about the quarterback, and you feel better about the running back room. So it's hard not to feel better than you felt last year. And I feel like we were pretty positive coming out of last year.
Dak?
Yeah, shit. Let's cut right to it. Are you guys gonna miss Jeff Sims?
No.
What a take.
Why not? No,
Well,
but
why not, Dak? Why not?
I think you have one good thing to look forward to. You know your quarterback play can't get any worse than last year. And if it is worse, I don't know. I don't know how it could be. That's one of the worst quarterback plays or a team I've ever saw it play.
And we still won 5 games. So you have to feel better. You have to feel all right about it, right? The defense will take a step back. That one I feel confident saying we're not going to come out swinging like last year.
You're not going to be the top 5 defense.
No, we're not going to catch people off guard.
You do have a top 20 offense and defense coming into week 2 into Lincoln.
Supposedly, according I don't want to talk about EA's Colorado.
Dak, now's your time to ask your question in the text that I said to wait for the podcast.
Is Raiola for sure the starter?
Thank you.
I don't think it's. I do think it is fluid. I do think Harburg could win it, but no, Raiola's going to start.
Raiola starting. But wouldn't that just be Husker Nation if we didn't hear anything and just the first snap against UTEP, we get the ball and Heinrich Harburg rolls out? Like, what would the stadium do?
It would be riot. Silence.
People would just have no idea how to react. It would. Like, I thought about that the other day. I'm like, that would be hilarious. But I think Raiola's starting.
People say he's gotten better, a lot better.
And that's good. That's good. I think the bigger conversation is how we're going to utilize Harburg, because it sounds like there's potentially that Taysom him, Blake Belldozer type role for him, potentially. But then again, if he's your clear-cut second-string quarterback, do you want him in on plays with potential to get hurt? Because if Raiola goes down, do we trust the freshman Danny Kaelin from Bellevue West right off the bat? I don't know. So I think that's a whole another conversation. But I do think that what you said, quarterback play can't get worse. Quarterback play was potentially 2 or 3 wins last year that we could have had, and our season could have definitely looked really different. And then we're probably now like drinking the hype of the national title this year if we were 7-5 last year. But I think like Raiola's job is not to come in and throw for 400 yards a game and 3 touchdowns a game. Like, that happens great. But I think his job right now as a freshman is to come in and be a game manager and lead the way he knows how to lead a group of men. And I have confidence at what I saw in the spring game that he can do that. And just one thing that still sticks out into my mind to this day from the spring game was he led our team out, or the white team, I guess, out of the tunnel, and like with confidence. It wasn't a cocky, arrogant, but it was like, no, like, we're going to do this. When he led his team out, and I'm like, that shows, like, Jeff Sims did not have any of that in him at all. And I can even say some of our past quarterbacks, like, we haven't seen that in them. I feel like Adrian led with a very much more composed type of leadership and led by example. And I think that was good too. I think that got him a long ways. But I mean, right off the get-go, we see this with Dylan Raiola, and it's exciting. It brings hope that if our quarterback play even just gets a little bit better, that maybe we'll be in a lot better position this year.
Not unreasonable to have that hope, I don't think.
Who you guys gonna be rooting for in that Colorado Nebraska game?
What are
Am I
you
gonna
talking
be
about?
rooting for in the Colorado Nebraska game?
You're gonna be cheering for Colorado?
Oh,
Dak, what are you even talking about?
that
I'm
game
just
is
fucking
going to
with you
be
guys.
absolutely.
You're just fucking with us. You thought that was
Yeah.
fucking with us?
Yeah.
That
Hey,
game's going to be insane.
we gotta beat UTEP. We gotta beat UTEP. That's
Yeah,
first step.
it's true. If we go into their 0-1, but I still think out of all the games, I think that's probably the biggest game on our schedule. We'll get there, but I mean, yeah, that has potential to really deflate a lot of fans.
Like, okay, yeah, there's obviously a billion different what if scenarios how these first few games can go. If we do start off, I mean, like you said, your floor like 3-4. I mean, I haven't played that one out in my head much, but I have played out like because everybody talks about the 6-1, the 7-0 start, going to Ohio State, being a top 10 team. Like,
You haven't saw that movie before.
how will Husker, like, just think about our fan base and how nuts we're going to be, how good we're going to talk us up. Like, it's just going to be crazy when really, I mean, if you want to look at our schedule, we really will not have played anybody great up until that point. Well, I say that teams that we should beat, right? That we talk about teams that we should beat, but in the same sense, we've also said we just need to get to that point of beating these teams that we should beat consistently and not go lay an egg at Northwestern on the road because we fumble it or punt the ball the wrong way against Michigan State and they return it. Or we don't need to go through the 1,000 ways that we've lost games the past 2 or 3, 4 years. But like we do just need to win these games that we quote unquote should win. Still don't know why we're saying we should win, but there we go. So expectations are weird.
UTEP's not even a guaranteed win for you anymore.
I would say that probably is.
I hope it is. I mean, I think
should be.
I think we're like a 30-point favorite.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a guaranteed win.
Okay, well, we're running. You're low
Not
on
time
time.
to talk EA. You guys probably had a whole hour of EA content.
Oh no, we don't got to talk about it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Plenty of episodes.
We don't got.
We are going to try to keep our episodes to 40 minutes, like we've done in the past. Still do 2 times a week. Like I said, video will be recorded. We'll have some new exciting news coming up here soon on some potential new merchandise. We're out of hats. We're out of shirts from our last order. So we're gonna get some
plenty of shot glasses, I'm sure.
We do have plenty of those because we ordered a lot.
You get a 5-star QB and everything changes.
Everything changes. Oh, I guess I will say shout out to us showing up for the 5-star offensive lineman recruit.
Larry Saunders Jr.?
Yep, David Sanders Jr., Providence State School out of North Carolina. Great job. Dylan Raiola leading the charge on that. We'll be back Wednesday. Go Big Red.
GBR.
Boomer Sooner.
Gross.